Hi, this is Katie Crow from Uplifting Your Life. On today's episode, we get to meet Molly Stoeffler, and we get to hear about everything that encouraged her to follow her dreams and her passions to grow into the person that she is today, how she is uplifting her life so that she can uplift other life of other people in our community and her business, her family, and everyone else around her. Welcome, listeners, to Uplifting Your Life. This is your host, Katie Crow, and today I'm here with my good friend, Molly.
Hello.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
Hey, so I just want everyone to welcome Molly to this podcast, and I can't wait to talk with her about lots of different things about herself, where she's from, what her business is, how she balances work and family life, and we're also going to talk about what holidays look like for her, and maybe what some of her suggestions are for the holiday, and also how to uplift yourself and those around you during the holiday, but also all year round, because she is a positive spirit and she'll have a lot to tell you guys. So hello, Molly.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I also want to give just a little background of how I know Molly. Of course, you all know that I own a fitness studio local here in Grimes. And about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Was
2
it 2
years
years
in
ago?
November. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Time flies.
It's huge when you never worked out before and you started.
you
Do you
sure?
remember your date? Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
look
actually
back.
started in October. It was like it was right after Halloween or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay. So apparently 2 years.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
So one day I'm sitting at my desk welcoming people into the studio. Hey, welcome, 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 welcome. Ready for some Zumba. And Molly walks into my studio and she was like,
Terrified.
this is my first time. What do I do? Where am I? My friends made me come. I haven't worked out in
Ever.
ever.
I never worked out. And so my neighborhood, a couple girls were going to Uplift on the regular. So they asked me to come in and I was like, oh, talking over wine and like, yeah, I'll do it. That sounds fun.
Yeah, come
And
dance.
then it came to it and I was like shaking in my boots, couldn't figure out what to wear. I had no sneakers even like at my house.
Yeah. Yeah, she's talked about that, how she didn't even know what to wear because she never had workout gear, right? And that you spent
horrible.
2 hours in the store.
I literally walked around Target workout section forever, and I was sweating. I'm not kidding. Like I was like, do I wear this? Is this like appropriate? How sweaty am I gonna get? I'm just dancing, right?
Right. So she came in for her first class prepared. I would have never known that you hadn't ever worked out or that you didn't know what to wear. I had no idea.
The room was full, thank God, and I got to stand in the back, so thank God.
And so she came to her first class at Uplift, and then surprisingly came back. I wasn't sure because after class, she was like, I thought about leaving. I thought I was going to die. And then she came back, and then she just, continued to come back. It became part of her schedule. It became part of her life and her new, what she was going to do and for her goals. So she started coming back and we just really hit it off as friends. And then we hung out outside of Uplift a few times and just really connected on a personal level outside of what, working out and Zumba and bar and all that good stuff.
Being a mom.
Yeah, we just started connecting
having our own
on
businesses.
Yes, because Molly has her own business. And so we connected a lot there. She has really good ideas and we bounce back and forth on all of those awesome things. And we just started really getting to know each other as people and really became really good friends. So we really like to hang out outside of Zumba and bar. She will still come to my classes sometimes.
Yes, I will.
And then also after apparently almost 2 years, Molly got certified to teach Zumba.
Yep.
And now teaches at Uplift.
Yeah, on Friday mornings at 8:30 a.m. for all you stay-at-home moms
Shameless
or
plug.
hairdressers. No big deal. Come see me.
Yeah, so she got to be really confident for someone who never worked out really before to starting to come to some classes here and there. And then it became more regular on her schedule, and loved it so much that she wanted to do it, and teaches Zumba once a week now too, which is really exciting. Yeah.
It is exciting.
It is exciting. It's really great. So, so through this episode, as we get to know Molly, like I said, we're going to talk about more than Zumba, I promise. We'll talk about a lot about her business. Molly owns a salon, and we're going to talk about balancing work and family life, because there's a lot more into that than just writing down a schedule, whether you keep it on, Google Calendar, or you write it in your planner, or however you keep your schedule. There's a lot more to it than that. And so we're going to dig in and talk about that. We're going to talk about holidays, because whether you celebrate Christmas or any other holiday that you celebrate, this can be a really stressful time of year. So we want to kind of break some things down for you, let you know it doesn't have to be stressful, and let you know that, balancing your life is okay. Say yes to some things, say no to some things, and that's good. So that'll be good for you. So come back in just a few minutes. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to get to know a little bit more about Molly Stoeffler.
Hey everybody, this is Margie Geiler-Alanese from Shining Bright by Farm Her. I want to tell you about a friend, a community member, a business owner that we really believe in. Our house was kind of a shell when we bought it, and we've been working on updating and changing and adding things on. And we found a local contractor that we can trust, that we love the work that they do, and that is Remodel Works. Check them out at remodelworksdb.com. They're right here in Central Iowa. You'll love them.
Listeners, welcome back to Uplifting Your Life. This is your host, Katie Crow, and today we're here with Molly Stoeffler.
Hello.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
Hey, so we want to dig in, and we want to know more about you.
Okay.
Today's all about you and who you are. I know you're so excited about that.
I know, weird, but it's fine.
It can be different for, just talking to a friend on the street than a formal interview.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Because I'm used to just chatting with you, so I feel kind of under the microscope right now, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. So Molly, we want to know, where are you from? What's your background?
Well, I am originally from Iowa and from Northwest Iowa. If all y'all know where Storm Lake or Cherokee is, I'm right in the middle of that, in a little farm town called Aurelia. Shout out to Aurelia girls or boys.
I have to say, I didn't know originally that you grew up on a farm, and I'm shocked.
I know, it is shocking. I'm definitely a city girl. I love the fast pace of life in the city, but I got the pleasure and the opportunity as a kid to grow up out in the wide open, and that gives me a lot of, I think, helps with the balance in my life, honestly, when we come to that part, just because it's really a lot slower pace there.
Yeah.
And you really have time to relax and sit down and be in quiet.
Level your life.
Right. Which here it's I would describe my life as very busy and noisy. So it's really nice to retreat back to the farm and have a comfort zone where I get to just chill. So I grew up on a farm, and my dad has farmed his whole life. His name is Dave. He's awesome. Yay for Dave. He and his family have a century farm. And we have cows and pigs. Everyone always wants to know if we have livestock. So yes, we do. We actually sold our hogs this past year, which was kind of crazy for my dad, but a good step for him toward retirement, which I'm hoping he does sooner than later so he can take time for himself. Because his generation doesn't know much about self-care, as we are all talking about it all the time.
True. Yeah, that's true.
They don't. Yeah. So looking out for him. That's how I feel. But he does still have tons of land, and we do beans and corn. So the harvest is a big deal for us. And my mom, she is like the best mom ever. She makes her family the most important thing in the world, which she helps me create that balance for my family too. So I feel like I come from a really good, stable home that helps me keep stable because I'm very crazy. I'm all over the place, and it really helps to go back to where you began to help you continue forward. So anyhow, grew up on the farm. I went to school and graduated thinking I wanted to be a teacher. So it moved me into Ames, Iowa, where I went to college. So
At Iowa State?
yes.
Okay.
So I went to Iowa State and got my degree in secondary education to teach English to high schoolers. And I found out very fast that was not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Great for everybody who wants to do it because that's amazing. It takes a really strong and open and dedicated heart for a teacher. So
Absolutely.
I love
agree
all
with
my
that.
teachers, and I'm glad I got to experience that for a little bit to understand how hard that is. So, and then I moved to Des Moines and was kind of finding my path, and I couldn't figure it out. So I ended up moving to Chicago and going into hair.
So after getting your degree at Iowa State, you decided to change that path, like a total Pocahontas move. Which path do I take?
Yep.
And then so you moved to Chicago by yourself.
Yes.
And went to school for hair.
Yep.
Where?
I went to the Aveda Institute in Lincoln Park. It was only 3 years old at the time. I've been doing hair for 15 years. So, and it was a beautiful school right in like a main part of the city. So it just kind of threw me right into what I always thought in life that I wanted to be in, that busy urban type atmosphere.
Right.
So it really got me a head start on what direction I was headed in after that, because at that point I was 25 and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I should have, and I'm in my quarter life crisis.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's a big change from farm life to Chicago city life. That's a big jump.
My parents, back to them, were not very pleased with that. They were not excited about their little teacher daughter moving to the big city to become a fancy hairdresser, apparently.
Yeah.
So it was a conversation or two, and
I'm sure.
they finally were okay with it, but that's just because we're very close knit.
Right.
So.
And they knew that that's where your passion lied, and that's where your dreams were.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then after you finished school and you were in Chicago for a little while, eventually you came back to Des Moines.
Yep. I came back. Because of Iowa State, I had connections here anyways, and my family. But as you'll find out later, I fell in love and I came back to Iowa. Adam brought me back. So.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
We'll get into that.
My next question was what brought you back? But
yes.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I thought I was in the city for a long time, but because of those farm roots and being close with my brother and my mom and dad, I just needed to come back for many reasons, but it was a perfect time for me to get into that relationship that I did with my husband to bring me back. So
yeah. And, geographically wise, Des Moines is a great point for where your parents are. You can drive there anytime. You do go there often.
Yes.
And it
come here
still
often
gives you
too.
city life, not the same as Chicago, but it's maybe a happy medium ground.
Yeah. So we have family in Northwest Iowa. My brother's still there with his kids, and in Winterset for Adam's family. So we're just kind of centrally sort of located.
Yeah. So you've talked about your mom and your dad that are really close to you. Who else in your life is really close to you now?
In my family.
Sure. Family or friends.
Well, that's just a list. No, I am really close with my brother. Unfortunately, I don't get to see him as much as I want. But I think, have a really great relationship. We've gone through a lot of things together. He had some health issues a few years ago that changed a lot of things for him. And I don't know, we just have always been very connected. My parents are divorced. My stepdad is Dave, the one I was talking about. My father, Dan, lives in Minnesota, and we still have a great relationship too. And he's been a part of my life. But I think going through the divorce, like me and my brother became super close, and that bond
Really bonded.
will always be there. We
That's
just
great.
look out for each other, and no matter, we're very, very different, but no matter how different we are, we still come to that common ground. So
Yeah, I think that's great. I think a lot of siblings are different. And I think that's a great aspect of siblings. You know, they can be raised by the same people, live in the same home growing up, and yet have completely different personalities and different dreams and different drives.
It helps you see things from different angles too when you trust someone that much.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah. So outside of your mom and dad and brother?
Obviously my husband, we're like besties, so that's good. But we're very different too. So that's a whole nother challenge and balance that you have to come to when you decide to get married.
Right. It is.
So we do a lot of talking and discussing. So I would have to say he's the person.
And then, of course, along with your husband, you guys have 2 kids.
Yes. Olive and Abe. I almost said Adam again. Do you know how many times you call out to your kids and say 5 different names before you get to the one that you want? Right? We all do it. I say pet names even before I say my kid name that I want to say. So
yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, that's so funny. I do the same thing. Well, Molly, I'm so excited to dig in a little deeper with you. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Molly's business, a little bit more about where she went to school and where her dreams come from and how she's following her passion.
Hey guys, this is Margie from Farm Her. I want to remind you all that we have some really fun, functional, cute merchandise out on our store at farmher.com, and fall has arrived in the Farm Her market. We've got some new sweatshirts, hoodies, one of my favorite windbreakers out there, so check it out at farmher.com. And while you're there, be sure to use the code Shining Bright and save 10% just for our listeners.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Uplifting Your Life. This is Katie Crow here today with Molly Stoeffler.
Hello.
Hey, we're digging in. We're getting to know Molly today, of who she is, where she came from, where her passion and dreams are, and what she's doing with them in her life today. Molly, I want to know, after you went to school at Iowa State for your teaching degree, you quickly realized that that's not the path that you envisioned for your life. And you decided to go to Chicago, which is a big move, especially for someone in their 20s, to go by themselves. And you went to this school, Aveda Institute, and decided to pursue hair.
Yes.
Tell me about that and what those steps were in your life to follow that.
Well, I got, like I was talking about earlier, got a little lost in my quarter life crisis. Like all the things I'd planned to do got aligned. And once I got there, it didn't feel like it was me. So that was really confusing. And I kind of, obviously I went to find some help on figuring out what to do. So I went to my parents, and my mom, kind of talked to me. She's like, well, what do you love to do? And when I was going to college for my teaching degree, I took a job at one of the top salons in Ames. And that place was so much fun. I was front desk help and ended up help managing that front desk staff and everything through 3 years of school. And I was just so interested in what was happening behind the scenes. And I kept asking the owner, why did you do that? Why did you put that on her hair? And how did it come out like that? And he just kept stopping me throughout the years and being like, you need to do hair. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm already in school to do something. I have a plan.
Yeah.
And then I left, graduated, did all the things. And then my mom was like, well, you loved working at the salon. Is that something that you would want to do? And I was like, ding, 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 lights went off. I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think about this as a career? I loved everything about it. I loved making people happy. I loved creating, and I loved also the business aspect. Just the busyness and the people in and out and the energy and the music. It just was really enticing. So I just was like, yep, you're right. That's what I'm doing. So I went to my computer and I just started searching schools. And little did my parents know. And like I said, they weren't that happy. I was looking for a place in a big city.
Right.
But also close by. So I knew certain brands that we had sold at that salon and that I liked and believed in. So I looked at schools that provided that.
Yep.
And I ended up in the Aveda Institute category because the Toni and Guy, which is also a brand that I educate for now currently, but then their closest school is Texas, and I wasn't able to commit myself to going that far away.
Sure.
Plus, the surrounding states, I could find relatives too that were there if I needed anyone.
Right.
So I ended up looking at the Minneapolis Aveda Institute, and then I found the new one that was in Chicago, and I was like, yep, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
And
So you just kind of knew when you found it right off the bat that that's where you wanted to go.
I'm a very decisive person. So it's like, once I see it and know it, I'm doing it, So I just kind of like, oh, these two places, nope, that's the one. Like, I don't have a hard time making decisions.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you went to college or school again in Chicago, and then you eventually came back to Des Moines.
Yes.
And you did pursue hair in Des Moines, but what else brought you back?
So my husband, as I said previously, we started dating. We knew each other through college, just always like best friends. Like he was one of the only people I kept in contact with when I lived in Chicago besides family members because, he mattered to me. Like he and I shared a lot. So anywho, we started dating, and I love the word anywho. I'm noticing. Sorry. Now that you're on a mic, Anywho. Rewind. Oh, I'm getting thrown off now.
Yeah. So
anyways, I found out that we started wanting more of a relationship. And then it was like, where are we going to live? Iowa or Chicago? Mm-hmm. And all of our family was here. We knew if we made this commitment to each other, we were going to continue and make our family happen.
Right.
So we wanted to be around family then.
Yeah.
And I still wanted to be in more of a urban type atmosphere. And Des Moines was it. Mm-hmm. Other than Iowa City, I'd consider that too because I have relatives there. Mm-hmm. But we came back here and it's been good ever since too. Yeah. And I got to do all the other things on my list that I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's great. So you eventually opened your own salon after renting a small space for a while, correct?
Well, when I first came back, my friend and her dad had opened a salon in West Des Moines. And that's where she was like, if you're coming back, you're going to work for us. Sure. And I was like, okay, cool. So I worked there for 3 years and built up a clientele so I could go out on my own when I had children. Mm-hmm. The good thing about my career and one of the pluses is about having flexibility and creating my own schedule.
Right.
So I knew once I had kids, I needed to be a little bit more flexible because I wanted to be a part of their lives too, but also be a working mom.
Right.
So I worked for them and then I went out on my own. And then, but the plan from the beginning, from going to cosmetology school, was to own my own business. I knew from the beginning, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it all the way.
And it sounds like you were inspired back from when you worked in Ames in the salon because you were really close with the owner there. Yes. And it sounds like you were really inspired by them.
Yeah, I was inspired by his whole staff at the time too. They were incredible and just different types of personalities. It was very city-like. The owner is originally from New York, so he created a really amazing atmosphere that I'd never seen from Little Aurelia.
Right.
And then I came in to meet all these different types of people and see how they live and how they work.
Yeah.
It was very inspiring.
So now that you have your own studio or your own salon, your own space, what is the best part or the best parts about it?
The best parts for me are having created the atmosphere that I've always wanted to work in. I feel like that's really important to be happy, is to have that positive vibe atmosphere.
Yeah. And I know you're passionate about that.
Yes.
You're always changing things and...
Definitely. I want people to see that I am paying attention to what they like, what they need, and also trying to give them a homey type feel, but also keep it very trendy and ongoing because that's how the world is.
Right. Yeah. Along with what are the best parts, we also have to know what are the worst parts of it, or not the worst, but the hardest. Because it's true that being a small business owner or entrepreneur, it is hard.
Yes.
And that sometimes we are afraid to admit that it's hard because we don't want to show any faults.
Exactly.
But, to our customers or our clients, to let them know that there are areas that we struggle. that's okay. But what do you think yours are?
I think one of the hardest parts is that I am a people pleaser. So being a boss, I am constantly reminded by my two beautiful stylists that I am their boss and I'm not their peer. They're reminding me because I'm asking, is it okay if I do this? I'm going to leave early just so you guys know, do you need anything? And they're just like, hey, you can do whatever you want. This is your business. But I don't like to take advantage of people. And I really try and let them know that they're a part of my family. Yeah. And I do expect certain things, but I think that part about managing people is definitely the most difficult for me at this point. And we're only going to be 4 years old. My business, by the way, is M & Company Hair Space out in West Des Moines. So just a little shout out there, but
awesome.
We're figuring it out.
Cool. Awesome. Listeners, when we come back, we're going to talk with Molly a little bit about business and family, how those things balance and blend a little bit together, and how they're starting their holiday traditions.
Hey, this is Melissa with Tin Roof Market. Just want to share with you some of the products we make using goat's milk from our family farm. We make a variety of soaps and lotions using the goat's milk along with other natural ingredients, adding essential oils and fragrances to give them that amazing smell. Some of the scents to choose from are lavender oatmeal, double mint, eucalyptus spearmint, sweet orange, and many more. We also make a variety of lip balm, lip scrubs, and sugar scrubs. If you'd like to find out more, please check us out at www.tinroofmarket.com, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Instagram.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Uplifting Your Life. This is Katie Crow here today with Molly Stoeffler. We get to continue our conversation about who is Molly and what are your passions in life and what dreams are you following. And next, we're going to talk about what passions are helping inspire her kids. And Molly, do you think that you following your passion to open M&Co are helping inspire your kids to be who they are and what dreams they might want to follow?
Well, I think that it definitely shows them how hard we're working, like not just me, but my husband too. You know what I mean? Like just showing them, because we are working moms and dads, and trying to also balance that out with a quality time.
Right. Because there's that mom guilt or parent guilt of like, am I working too much? Am I not giving enough to my kids? Or am I balancing this correctly? And they're seeing what I'm doing and learning and feeding from it.
I think that because they were so, like Olive, she's 7. She was 3 when I opened. Mm-hmm. So she had, like, her memories are me having M&Co at this point.
Forever.
And so she's grown up with her mom being the boss, but she doesn't technically know everything that came prior to that for me to get to that position.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to teach her and my son Abe, because I don't want them to think, I'm just the boss. I get to do whatever I want. The reason why I'm gone this night, and this night is because I own M&Co and I have to be there because this is my business.
Yes.
So I think that it's crucial. And I think they also are getting it now. As they've gotten older, they're just like, oh, mom has to be there because she's the one that needs to be the most accountable. That means that I have to be here because of this responsibility. Right. I think it's teaching them responsibility, accountability, and also reward.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'd be like, I'm working really hard so that we can go on this trip this summer, or I'm working really, to teach them that things do come at a cost, but it doesn't have to be bad. You just have to put in the work first.
Hard work can be paid for, or repaid.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I think that all kids see their parents in all hard work they do, whether they're business owners or they're not, or, they just have a different job. Kids always see the hard work the parents are doing.
Yes.
And I think that's really great to instill into our kids that hard work pays off.
Agreed.
What does your schedule look like on a weekly basis? I know you're a business owner, but you have a lot of things that you're juggling. How do you keep track of your time? How are you managing it?
Well, that's a struggle in life, for real, because I do this job has been great for flexibility wise. Because I get to work 3 12-hour days, which I work Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then I do by appointment by Saturdays. The salon is open Tuesday through Saturday, but I'm not always there. Luckily, I have a wonderful staff that I can have those days off and not worry about my business.
Right.
But that's my regular time. So I'm gone 3 nights a week. And my husband steps up and he takes care of that. And he works a lot of hours too. So it's
That's
just
a
a
balance.
teamwork thing.
Yeah,
It's really hard.
It is.
And so I have Mondays and Wednesdays off. So I also educate for TG, as I said in the prior
And
segment.
what's TG?
TG is Tony and Guy. It is a hairdressing school, and also it is a brand.
So people have probably seen these products.
Yes, you've definitely seen TG products out there. If you know Bedhead, you know TG.
That's what it made me think of the first time you told me, is I had some bedhead product years ago, and that's
Yes.
how I knew it.
Oh, perfect. Like everyone's seen it. It's everywhere. We carry the TG copyright brand in my salon, which is the Salon Professional brand.
Okay.
And we can get in bedhead,
Yeah.
by special order, all that kind of stuff. But I educate in color for them. So I go into other salons surrounding states of Iowa and I teach how to apply color, what techniques to use, talk about our color line, what's in it, what it does and how to use it.
Yeah.
all
And
those
side
things.
note, along with doing color, you're a color specialist.
Yes.
And you have a tattoo to represent that.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I have a tattoo of the color wheel on the back of my neck, and all of the different colors are represented in flowers.
It's really cool.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like tattoos.
Yeah. So, along with being a TG specialist and a hairstylist and a mom and small business owner, you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
How do you manage your
And
time?
a Zumba instructor.
And Zumba
By the way.
instructor.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm one of those people that's a goal setter and I have to do it and I can't stop. I have an issue with that. So sometimes my plate is too full and I need to learn how to say no to certain things.
Right.
But I'm trying to do my best. And I think by making calendars,
Right.
sticky notes,
Right.
refrigerator, chalkboards,
Right. For
all the things.
All the kids' activities and
Yep.
the work things that you're doing and balancing home and business life together.
Totally.
Sometimes it's a blend.
Yeah. It's always a blend for us. Like we're just on the go all the time. And my schedule does fluctuate with when I'm there. I'll go in on my days off if I have to, in demand of clientele.
Right.
And I also work on my days off, like I said, educating. So those 2 days fill up fast when those are supposed to be reserved for taking care of my family and doing
Or
the
just
laundry,
time off.
cleaning the house, groceries, all the errands.
Uh-huh.
So it's just constantly what's the most important top 3 things I need to get done today outside of work and do that.
Yeah, I think year round our schedules can be busy. And right now it's getting even busier because
Yes.
the holidays are coming.
Yes, the holidays are here.
Yeah,
They are here
they're
in full
here.
force.
Yes. Are you getting ready for the holidays?
I'm prepping still. Can you say prepping when you're like through the first full week and you only have 2 weeks left?
Yeah.
But no, for a business owner, I have to prep early. I have to like go in and decorate on my days off and get that done beginning of November. So you're already thinking about what specials you're going to run, what products you have to order. All of those things have to go into it. And it's just, it's a lot of outside thinking of the time that I'm behind the chair because this is one of our busiest times of year. And so I'm just
everyone
constantly-
wants their hair done for the holidays.
pictures will be taken. So you need your hair done.
Pictures will be taken.
You want it to look good.
That's true. But with your business, you have a really great clientele and you're hard to get into. So some people may not get in by the holidays.
That is true. I've been booked out since basically August or September. But we always have some flexibility depending on what stylist you want to see.
Sure.
But for me, it's harder. But once you have your clientele that is so loyal to you, they book several appointments out. So if you love your girl, sign up a couple times in a row.
That's great advice. Yeah. So when you are booked out, I think that goes into managing your schedule and saying no. That knowing that you can't book on Mondays, usually
Yes.
because that's your reserved time. That's
Yep.
your time off.
Yes.
And that is balancing, and that is doing your schedule and time blocking and making sure that you are, fulfilling every part of your life.
Yep. And then all the extra things that are added on from the school. You got to put those on the calendar.
Oh my gosh. Those are just the extra things that you get in your emails and Secret Santas and all of the things at school. If you have 1, 2, 3 kids or more, it just piles on sometimes.
Something gets forgotten. Hopefully it's small.
Yeah. That's a rite of passage.
It just happens.
It just happens, especially this time of year. If you have kids and something's going to get forgotten, and move on with your life and don't worry about it. If you forget to wear, holiday hat day on whatever day, who cares? Move on with it.
Do my best, people.
That's right. You just have to do your best, especially this time of year. There's so much added stress and so much added things to do to your schedule. It's still important to stick with your time blocking, stick with your time schedule, do what works for you and your family. Take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the holidays. Hey, this is Katie Crow, owner of Uplift Fitness Studio. Uplift Fitness Studio is a boutique fitness studio located right in the heart of Grimes, Iowa, in the Governor's District. Uplift offers a variety of group fitness classes, such as yoga, cardio, Zumba, bar, and strength classes. All new students can get their first week free with no obligation. At Uplift Fitness, we are passionate about uplifting women in our community to be strong, healthy, and happy. We strive to make a difference in their lives by creating an environment that allows our members to obtain their fitness goals and enjoy their experience in comfort and safety. Visit our website today at www.upliftfitnessstudio.com. Hello, and welcome back to Uplifting Your Life. This is Katie Crow here today with Molly Stoeffler. And we're going to talk next about holidays because it's that time of year. And I know we're all feeling the stress of the holidays and the excitement all together and how that rolls together as one. So I want to know, Molly, about holidays. I think it's important for us to not just worry about this year and today, but also your traditions of your holidays. So I want to know your favorite memory of a pastime.
Well, I think a favorite memory in Christmas is generated throughout all the years for me. Just growing up as a kid, watching my mom decorate. She creates a beautiful home during the Christmas time. It's very Christmassy. She plays music, the Christmas music behind there, and she's moving things around. And, I remember sitting on the couch and like watching her do it. And then I'd be like, I want to do it too. And then I'd just like get in there with her and just be like, how about this? How about this? And then we just began doing that like until this last weekend. She was at my house and we were moving things around and adding lights and doing all the things. And it just makes me feel like a kid again, being with her doing that. And also makes me feel, warm and fuzzy that I'm passing that on to my kids too. I can already see Olive doing it. Like she picked up an ornament the other day and she was like, what if we hang it like this right here? And it's going to be, and I was like, oh my God, that's so me.
That was you.
And my mom.
25 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Let's not add it years, but that's fine. Let's not joke about that.
So you were really close to your mom.
Yes.
Your entire life growing up. And so holidays really bring you back to a sense of family.
Yes.
Which is great. And that you are going to pass those traditions and more traditions on to your kids. What is your favorite tradition to pass along to Abe and Olive?
Well, something that we do as a family is we have our own Christmas trees in our rooms. I found these awesome Christmas trees that could hold all of the ornaments that each of my children have acquired already in their short little lives. I told my mom, I was like, you need to stop buying ornaments for the kids because our trees can't handle it.
The trees are going to fall over.
But each kid has one. And then my husband was jealous. So we got one in our room and we decorate and they all have their own theme. And it's just so much fun to see them decorate and also just the awe afterwards. They get to look at that before they go to bed and that warm lighting from the Christmas tree is just, who doesn't love it?
Yeah, I love it.
So that's one of our traditions. We have a lot, but
how many trees do you have in your house?
Well, I have 3 7-footers. I have 1 8.5 foot. If our ceilings were taller, I'd have a grand old tree, but I have a ranch, so it's fine. And I have multiple little trees with all twinkly lights. We have lights everywhere.
Have you counted all of your 7 foot, 8 foot, and your multiple trees?
I've never actually counted them all together because I love trees during the Christmas time.
You're going to have to get back to me on that answer.
I'll post pictures later.
That's awesome.
We love it. It just but that's exactly what my mom did. Not kidding. Yeah. I look back and I still go to her home and I'm like, can I steal this tree from you so I can use it now?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, sure. I'll get another one.
So some of your trees are your mom's trees.
Yep.
I love that.
Yes. Yeah. That's so great. She gives me her hand-me-downs for Christmas stuff, but they're very nice. And also it's because it's
sentimental.
Like,
it doesn't matter if
part
it's
of
nice
my farmhouse in my townhouse.
Yeah.
It's not a townhouse, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In town. I'm a town kid now.
Yeah. City home.
Big deal.
Okay. So along with getting ready and decorating your home, what are other things that you do to get ready for the holidays? Most people maybe shopping.
Well, yeah, shopping. So that has been different throughout the years. I have tried the whole concept and just like doing it at the very end. And it makes me sad not to have wrapped gifts under my tree. So then I decided that I needed to start way before so that I had a plethora of presents. And then I decided I spent too much money if I started too early.
Oh, okay.
Because I kept buying. So I was like, oh, this is cute. Oh, it's only $20. Cool. Like I'm done. I need to stop buying.
Right.
So I decided my happy medium is wait until Thanksgiving Day. And then right after that, I just start going. And I'll do, online and in-person shopping depending on what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So online shopping, I think a lot of people these days do a lot of online, but do you agree with me that it's also really important to do some local
100%. Yes. I love that. I actually just found a super cute boutique in Polk City where I live that I didn't even know was there. And she's been there for like 4 months or something.
Okay.
But I was super excited to find that. So I went there and we got a few things and just support. Of course, I have a small business, so I want to give what I would like to receive.
Right.
So I like to go out and check those out too.
Yep.
My online shopping comes in, at night when you're going to bed and scrolling through Amazon, and you can put in like in your cart, but maybe I'm not buying it all. Anyways.
I think it is. I agree. I do think it's really important to support small businesses, especially because we are both small business owners. We want to make sure that we contribute to the other small businesses as well. And Forbes magazine says that 67 cents of every dollar is spent at a small business is kept within our own community,
which is awesome,
which is huge compared to a large corporation. I mean, we're lucky if any of that money stays within our community.
Exactly.
Or large business. So I think it's really important too. So that's great. So along with the holiday season, what are 3 things that you always say yes to during the holiday season?
Wine. Obviously. And not just for, the benefits of wine, but for the benefit of it being social. I do need to be with my friends too, to keep a balance. So it's nice to sit down and be like, hey, you want to go have a glass of wine and let's catch up and de-stress ourselves by venting and feeling not alone. I mean, I have a lot of women in my chair that come in and they get to do that. I don't get to do that in the chair. So it's nice to be able to have that time with my friends and family to de-stress and feel bonded and feel support to get through those holidays.
Right. I think that is great because I think a lot of times people think that they're dealing with this stress alone and that maybe other people aren't, because in today's world and social media, people's lives seem perfect. And so if that's all you're seeing is a perfect life and their holidays are perfect and here I am so stressed out, it's really good to connect with friends. As Molly or as Katie, connect with a person and let them know that you're not alone and I'm going through the same thing. And and know yourself outside of family or business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also say yes to every family event because we want to please everyone. I am a people pleaser and I love the holiday and I think it's crucial. And so does my husband that our kids get to be with their cousins and their aunts and uncles and their grandparents and just kind of relish in those moments. So I'm a big yes person, even though it creates a very busy schedule. I do like to try and make as many events as I possibly can.
That's good. So I'm going to follow that up with what do you say no to? And I know that with what you just said.
It's not a lot. That's the bad part too. And that's also the balance part is I don't say no often as often as I should, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that's a hard lesson for a lot of people that do those types of things.
And I think as
jobs.
we grow in ourselves, we can learn to say no more often when we need to.
Yes.
And we can just, benefit from our own growth and knowing when we need to say no to help ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Awesome. Cool. All right. We're going to take just a short break and we're going to come back with Molly and talk about how she's uplifting her life. On our next episode of Uplifting Your Life, we get to talk with Shannon Daly about everything she's up to, what she's doing in her yoga life, and all of the life experiences that has given her, as well as the focus that she's putting on her family and how she's going to give back to them by going back to school and pursuing a new career on top of everything else she's doing and how she's uplifting her life. Hello and welcome back to Uplifting Your Life. This is Katie Crow here today with Molly Stoeffler. And today we got to talk about who is Molly and what were her dreams, her passions, what she's following and how she's, growing in her life. Also what she's doing for the holidays. And next I want to know, Molly, about one thing I'm going to say in every podcast I've said so far, and I always will, is be good to you, be good to others, and uplift your life. So I want to know, how are you being good to you?
Well, I think a lot of it about being good to myself is trying to find the time and giving myself some time to not have the guilt about taking care of myself. So one of my best ones was starting to work out. And that was, like I said, 2 years ago. And it's been such a great experience for me to find another community that's out there that is trying to be healthy and happy and also have that mindset of I'm taking care of me and it's okay because if I take care of me, I can take care of my family and everyone else.
Right.
So,
and I think I've said that in every podcast I've had so far is that when you can fill your own cup, you can help pour into others because you can't fulfill someone else with an empty cup. And when you're always going all day long and you're always helping others and you're never fulfilling your own life or filling your own cup with whatever that might be, it's hard to continue with a stress-free life.
yes. And I think what I was talking to you earlier about prior to this was one of the things that I think is important to take care of yourself too is that quality family time.
Right.
Because there's so often times that we're sitting around on electronics and doing all that stuff. And Christmas is actually much easier for me to make quality family time because I have all these traditions I want to keep for my kids, like baking sugar cookies and doing the trees and going to see the lights and all that kind of stuff is like a must for me. But my goal in 2020 is to always make that a must, because sometimes we do have busier times with work that you get swept up into it and then you get lost in that quality time, not just the let's go get showered, eat fed, get to bed, So that's one of my goals too.
Yeah, I think that's really good, making sure everyone's off their devices and that when you are spending time together, that you're spending genuine time together.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so to counter off of that, when you're being good to you, how are you being good to others? And I know that they balance together because when you are good to you, you can be good to others.
Yes. So it just like you said, it's hard to really like make that separate. But when I am thinking about it, what I'm doing for others is trying to be a good business owner for my community there and for my girls, and trying to be a good representative of what they should be, positive and forward thinking and goal seeking, all that kind of thing. For my family, I just want to be, again, very positive and, take a minute to take a deep breath together and hold hands if we need to, or watch a funny movie, or, whatever, make a treat.
Yeah.
Just do those things. That's, just try and inspire them a little bit to remember about the small things that are important.
Right. And I feel like because you do take time to be good to you, you can be good to others. And then it's just this rotating snowball that when you're good to someone else, that's good for them and that fills their cup. And
Which then again fills your cup because you're filling their cup, and that's
like
awesome.
This gratitude thing, it just bounces back, and then they can move forward to someone else in their life and, help uplift them too. And it is just this positive track that it just keeps going forward. And it's just like sharing a smile. If you smile to a stranger, maybe it uplifts their spirits and they're going to smile to someone later. It's the same as being positive to someone else and uplifting their life. So it sounds like you are doing a lot in your life and you are constantly trying to be good to you. And you are always constantly, as a people pleaser, trying to be good to others. Yes. Whether it's holiday season or not. Molly's just a really positive energy to be around. And so I just really want to say thank you for coming on to Uplifting Your Life podcast today. I know that it was really fun.
A little nerve-wracking. It's fine.
It's a little nerve-wracking, but you get used to it. Yeah. We were talking about how really it goes fast once you start to get into conversation, and we really want our listeners to get to know Molly too. And so it was really good for you to come in and get to know everything about where you come from and what inspired you to become a hairdresser. And I know that a lot of your schooling for becoming a teacher really rolled into that, and how the love of your life came back and drew you back to Des Moines. Had a couple kiddos.
That's what happened.
Yeah. And she started to follow her dream and got to own her salon. So thanks, Molly, for coming in today.
Thank you.
And listeners, we'll talk with you very, very soon.